my gosh. Welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday, and we have a special guest tonight. So we're super duper excited to have her. Lisa, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Anything exciting happen over the weekend or whatever we need to talk about?
No, not really. Not
Okay.
really.
Then
No.
let's get to our guest tonight.
Okay, let's do it.
Everybody, this is our good friend. Ghost hunts with us, does everything. We love her. We love her family. Sharon Gilmore. Welcome.
Welcome,
Hello,
Sharon.
welcome. Nice to
Yay.
be here. I'm so excited to be with
Yay.
you guys.
Yay. We're excited that you're here.
Nervous. I'm really nervous, guys.
Oh.
We don't have nervous here.
We're just having a conversation. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to let you introduce yourself just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up in the paranormal world. And then y'all are going to love this. Sharon grew up in a very, very haunted house, and we're going to talk about it. And so it's going to be very exciting.
I can't wait to hear it because
Hey.
I just can't wait to hear it.
I'm so ready. Okay, Sharon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Sharon Gilmore. I live in Prosper and married to my husband of 36 years. We have 3 kids, 2 grandkids. Love them all. And yeah, I've worked in my home for 36 years, have a daycare, and love my babies.
Yay, babies.
Babies.
I know
that is
you guys. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that is a job that is not for the faint of heart to have a whole bunch of babies in the house.
Yeah, lots of dirty diapers.
That's a hard job. Yeah.
Do you ever think you're going crazy with all the kids? Like, no more crying, no more spitting up or breaking anything.
Yeah. There's been lots of days like that. Take it one day at a time. God always says, I'll never give you 2 days the same like that. And he never has. So.
Oh, Lisa, we need to remember that.
Yeah.
When I'm bitching beforehand about, oh my God, do you know what happened today?
I'll be like, it's okay. Tomorrow will be different.
You know, it won't happen again tomorrow, Beck.
Yeah. He'll never give you 2 bad days.
Okay, so tell us a little bit of how you got into the paranormal.
Okay, well, probably it all started 34 years ago. And let's just jump into my house.
Let's go for it.
Like it was 34 years ago. Mark and I were only 19. No, when we bought the house, we were 21 and 22. So very, very young.
Yeah.
I did not know anything about ghosts. Nothing. And I always say, if I knew then what I knew now, oh my gosh, things would have been a lot different than 9 years we lived in that house.
Yeah.
But anyway, we bought the house, and I will say this, it was not an old house. The house was only 12 years old. So don't ever think that a house cannot be haunted if it's a newer house. That is so wrong. So we bought the house, and we bought it because it was in foreclosure, which should have gave us a first sign that something might be up with the house, but we bought it. My dad was a realtor. He found it for us. So we moved in. We were young. I didn't know anything about ghosts. And 2 weeks into living in the house, something really strange happened. And it started like this. Woke up one morning and I walk into the kitchen. Now, Brittany is our daughter, our oldest, is only 5 months old. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Brittany. We love her.
So she is only 5 months old when we move into the house. So she was just a baby. So we're all settled into the house, had been there about 3 weeks. And I walk into the kitchen, and there is a half-eaten peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the counter. And I'm like, dang, Mark, you forgot to finish your sandwich last night. So I pick it up and he's still in bed. So I walk back to our bedroom and I walk in and I said, Mark, do you want to finish your sandwich? He said, what are you talking about? And I said, you left your peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the kitchen. Evidently, you made a sandwich last night. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't make no sandwich. I said, yes, you did. Here it is. He said, I did not make a sandwich. So I look down at it and I run back into the kitchen, open the pantry, and we have white bread in our pantry, and the sandwich is made out of wheat bread.
Oh,
And I
hell
dropped
no.
Oh no.
I'm like, Mark, how did this sandwich get into our house? So we're like, okay, let's go check the doors, make sure that the doors were locked. Well, we have a front door and we have a back door. Both doors were locked. So we're like, literally for 30 minutes, we're like, how did this sandwich get into our house? And it scared us.
Yeah.
And I think that was my first experience with paranormal, because we were like, we cannot explain how this half-eaten peanut butter and jelly sandwich got into our house that night. And that's how it started.
And it didn't even have, you guys have white bread in your cabinet. So it didn't come from your cabinet.
Exactly. It did not come from our loaf of bread. So yeah, so that was our first experience with, what's going on. So the first thing we did was we put an alarm system in. Mark worked for security at that time. Needless to say, the motion detector inside our house after 2 months had to be disconnected because it was constantly going off.
Oh, wow.
So, but Mark, at this time, he was like, well, it's just too sensitive. He always had an answer for everything. And so, but I will tell you, the night that changed his whole perspective of the house was probably about 1.5 years. It was almost 2 years. In the middle of the night, and we had our first son, Zach, was born, and he was a couple of months old, and we had decorated his room in dinosaurs, and he had this really tall dinosaur. Well, in the middle of the night, this dinosaur starts going off, and it's one of these dinosaurs, when you turn it on, it moves and it growls and it's really loud. So we both were awoke by this dinosaur going off. And so, being the good wife, I told Mark to go in there and turn it off and find out why was it going off and what's going on. And because we knew Zach was just a baby, he was in his crib still. So Mark went in there and he came right back, and I said, well, what's going on? What set it off? He goes, I don't know, I just turned it off. I said, okay. So we went back to bed, got into bed, and it goes off again. I said, Mark, I thought you cut it off. And he said, I did. And I said, well, go take the batteries out. We can't be having this going off all night. So he goes back in there, and the next thing I know, he comes in our bedroom and he flicks on the light, and the expression on his face, and I knew something was up. And I said, what is going on? I said, did you take the batteries out? And he looked at me and he said, Sharon, there were no batteries in there.
No.
What? I said, what do you mean? I said, we've been hearing it going off the past 10 minutes. And he said, I know, but there's no batteries in it. So that was the night that Mark became a believer.
So
that gave me chills. Like literally, I have chills right now. That would have terrified me.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. Needs to say, that night we slept with the lights on because
I would have too.
Again, you have to remember, we're only in our young 20s. We're just little kids ourselves. And, at this time, we now have 2 babies in our house. And we're like, what is going on? Because all this time, the lights in our house was always going off. Like I said, the motion detectors, just crazy stuff going on. And we didn't know about ghosts. I mean, we knew about ghosts, but we weren't believers in them. You know, but we didn't know if it was ghosts, you know, it was just, we just didn't know what was going on.
Were y'all starting to think with all of this stuff going on that maybe you had a paranormal thing going on, something, or were y'all just kept playing it off as, oh, well, it's just one of those things, as people do? Or were y'all starting to think, okay, we could have a ghost in this house. Something is off
Right.
here.
I definitely was. Now, Mark on the other side, you know, for 2 or 3 years, he just kept on saying, no, I don't believe you. But, you know, I worked at home, so I was at home all day.
Yeah.
So I saw the stuff happening more so than he did. And so I definitely was a believer. But what kind of brought it up, you know, and we discuss it with our family. You know, it was just one of those things, you know, you just didn't want to start telling people about all this stuff because you're like, okay, they're going to think I'm crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
we finally had to start telling people because shit was happening.
Like,
And we were starting to get scared.
did you ever
So we
see like
told,
shadow people or anything like that?
no, we never, no, I never saw shadow people. But
You
I'll
just,
get to it.
oh,
Yeah, I'll get to the good part.
okay.
But
No, I'm just,
I have to mention this because we finally told Mark's mom about it because Brittany was getting a little older and she started picking up on what we said about ghosts and everything. So she would open her mouth at times. And it's funny because even in one of our, you know, back in the 90s, we all had camcorders.
oh,
And so
Sure.
we used camcorders and videoed everything. Well, a couple of years ago, we were rewatching some videos and we're all sitting in the living room and Mark's video and the kids playing on the floor. And in the back, you'll see our kitchen light flick on. And Brittany, who was about 5 years old, she goes, oh, it looks like our ghost is with us tonight. So it got to a point where we just talked about it all the time. Every time a light would flick on, our door would close or open, we would just say, oh, our ghost is here with us tonight. But we finally told Mark's mom about it. And she said, well, why don't you look up and see who was the previous owner of the house? And so she actually did it for me. And it's kind of strange, but she actually knew the guy. It was a friend of theirs. And he was a ex-highway patrolman who lived there and had passed away, not in the house, but while he lived there, he died of cancer.
oh.
And so when I heard that, I thought, okay, if it is him, I felt pretty good about it because he's a highway patrolman.
Yeah.
He can't be a bad ghost, right? No, I don't think he would hurt us. And we never, ever felt threatened. Not ever. It was never really dark.
It doesn't sound like any of the stuff, does it, Lisa? That
No,
I mean,
it
would be
sounds more like
threatening.
they were trying to get your attention, like, hey, acknowledge me, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the other thing we noticed, and I'm going to start calling him because we, at this point, and we're probably about 6 or 7 years into the house, we actually just started calling him. Especially me, you know, he would do something like one Saturday morning, I was vacuuming the living room and behind my sofa on the wall was a shelf and it had some little dog figurines. And one of those was on the living room floor. And I'm like, well, now how did that get there? I instantly knew it was him and he had pushed it off because that's just what he did, was do things like that. So I picked it back up and I put it back on the shelf and I started vacuuming on the other side of the room. And whenever I turned around, the same dog was back on the floor. You know, he was just trying to get my attention. And so I just would start talking to him. I said, okay, what's the deal? Do you not want me to vacuum? and I put the dog back up and I stopped vacuuming, and that was the end of it. No more dogs flying off the shelf. But so
He's
it
like,
got to where
you're bothering me right now. I'm trying to rest
Yeah.
and you're vacuuming.
Yeah.
exactly. But we started noticing he would come around, especially on holidays.
Oh,
So we
that's
figured
interesting.
we knew when the holidays were coming that he was going to come in full force. But I'll get to the good stuff, the good thing.
No, girl, I mean, just
This is all good. What are you talking about?
yeah, that's some serious shit.
I could talk for probably 3 hours, all the stuff that was happening in the house. But it came to a peak whenever we brought Jake home from the hospital. Jake is our third child. We brought him home from the hospital, and that night I was so tired, and he had woke up in the middle of the night, and I went and got him, and I brought him back to bed with us to breastfeed him. So I was on my side facing inward to the bed, and I was breastfeeding him, and all of a sudden I knew somebody was watching me. I was just like, y'all know that feeling. Y'all all
Yes.
had it. And I flipped over, and there he was in all his glory, full apparition of him.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
You
he was
saw him.
hovering. He was hovering off the floor, probably about at least 2 or 3 feet. The whole ashy gray, he was glowing. I could see everything, his trousers, his belt, his button-down shirt. And I opened my mouth to scream, and nothing would come out. I mean, it was just like I was frozen. And I wanted to scream so bad to wake Mark up so that he could see it, but nothing would come out. Later, I learned, and y'all probably knew this, and I think it was in one of my demonology classes, I saw a picture, and it was just like what I had experienced that night. The picture was a woman laying in bed, and a ghost was hovering beside her, and she opened her mouth to scream. And in the picture, you see the ghost just, how do I want to say it? Capturing her voice. Just, I can't think of the word I want to. That they steal your voice. They grab all your energy, so that you can't scream. And when I saw that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, that is what happened to me that night. And actually, whenever he only was there for, it seemed like an eternity to me, but he was probably only there for 5 seconds. But whenever he finally dissipated and he just literally just vanished, I gasped, because it was like he had taken all the air out of me, and I gasped, and I was just like almost choked. It took me a little while to catch my breath, and of course then I woke Mark up, and I was like, you're not going to believe it, I finally saw him. And at that moment, I was not scared at all.
No,
I was no, it was like finally I got closure to who was living with us this whole time, or coming and going.
Well,
He didn't stay there.
it was confirmation too that you were right. That
Exactly.
was a him. It was him that was doing this. It was him knocking the dog over, him flickering the lights. So you had that confirmation. That's so good.
Right. Yeah. And I just felt at peace, even though it scared the living jeebies out of me whenever I saw him. But after it was all gone and I settled down and got my breath, I was like, yeah, that's it, finally.
Okay, so in my brain, when I hear stories, and I know you guys do this, you're analyzing that situation. And I'm thinking, you've got a newborn at home, you're breastfeeding. So he's silencing your voice not to frighten the baby, because you're going to scream like bloody murder. You know what I mean? So maybe he wasn't there to really do that. He's just welcoming the new baby, the baby boy. And I don't know. I've never had that experience where my voice has been silenced like that. But in my mind, I'm thinking that he might have been doing that for the baby's sake. I don't know.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
You think?
I definitely knew that he was there to see Jake. He wanted to see the baby that we had brought home.
And you're saying you weren't scared. And I think had it been malicious in some way, you would have felt fear.
Right. No, there was no fear.
Did his face look scary, or did it just look like a normal old
it
guy
was just
or whatever?
An old man. I mean, I could see all his wrinkles, everything. Yeah. It was just the perfect figure of a man, old man, just how I pictured him. And sure enough, the next day I went and, well, of course, I knew the man's name and I knew kind of what he looked like, and it matched perfectly. It was a perfect match. So
really, so it was the cop or whoever the previous owner.
Yes, yeah.
See, that's such a good story, because you were able to confirm, like you have all this stuff leading up, and you were able to confirm, like you said, and get the closure. Because you were like, okay, this is the previous owner. I do know for a fact this is him now. Yeah. That would give me a lot of peace too. Like, then I'd be like, all right, dude, you can hang out. Just, don't wake the baby.
And I didn't feel like I was crazy then. All this stuff was happening because, at the time, I just felt like he wanted to come back. That was his house. Especially on the holidays, he wanted to come back and be in his house. And he saw us there, and for whatever reason, he wanted to make his presence known to us. But actually, the story does not stop there.
There's more?
Yeah, there's lots more.
Okay, let's take a cheers break.
Cheers.
Fancy glass, guys. We forgot to do that.
Let's see yours, Lisa.
Okay, here's mine. I got to put my hand up. Isn't that pretty?
It's gorgeous.
It is pretty.
It's got a pretty little stem too. It's all twisty and stuff. I can't. Why my background just really doesn't want to let me show this to y'all. So nope, that ain't working either.
It's ghostly glass.
It is.
I see it now.
There it goes. Okay, let's see yours.
Mine is
oh yeah.
That looks blood red.
Yeah, we have to shout out to Crystal Phillip. She's the one that got our glass. I think that was one that she got you too.
Yes, this is one she bought me.
And y'all, I have to just tell the quick story on this red one. Lisa and I stopped at a thing called Relics in Springfield, Missouri. And we all just went on a big trip, y'all. So just so y'all know, we all just went on a big road trip. Sharon was with us. And we went into a place the size of Sam's that had
it's huge.
Just so much crazy wild stuff in there. And Lisa and I are looking at fancy glasses. Like, we want to pick some glasses out. This was the one I picked out of the whole damn store. But you know how when you walk around so long, you get tired. And so I put it down. I'm like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying anything. And I think you had a couple. You put them back.
I put them back, yeah.
And then Crystal shows up with these. And I like to had a heart attack. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, of all the glasses we looked at, and she didn't even get it at the same store.
No, totally different antique store.
Like, that's the universe at work right there. Thank you.
Right.
Let's see yours.
Yes.
Mine is a tumbler. I don't know if y'all can see it.
Oh, that's
good.
so
it's a Halloween
cute.
It's got all kinds of
I love
fabulous.
Pumpkins and all kinds of good stuff on it.
I love that. Well,
Okay.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers to haunted houses.
Cheers to haunted houses and making it out of them alive.
Yeah. Clink, clink.
Clink, clink, y'all.
I'm drinking grape juice tonight because I was lazy and didn't get my tea made, Lisa.
Is that code for wine?
So if I'm making a sucker face because it's tart, so it's it's sucking my jaws together. All right. Oh my God.
I have to ask, because you saw a full body man. Have you ever seen that, Becky?
I have
Have you
seen a full body apparition. Yes.
Okay, me too. And mine was in a house I lived in. And I was like you. I felt very not scared, but I was on the phone with my mom and he peeked out. He like poked out and I could only see him from the waist up. And he just, when he realized I saw him, it was almost like he was like, oh, and he just like went back. But I couldn't say anything. Like I wanted to say, Mom, because I'd been telling her, I think my house is haunted. Like I'm pretty sure my house is haunted. And I wanted to say, Mom, I can see him, but I couldn't say anything. Nothing would come out. And then all of a sudden he's done. And I was like, Mom, I just saw the ghost. And she's like, whatever. And then he turned the radio on really loud. And I go, you hear that? And she's like, yeah. And I go, he just turned the radio on. I am nowhere near it. It just came on. So I get what you're saying about that sense of, I just got confirmation. I know now for a fact my house is haunted. I saw a ghost.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we as adults, we want to rationalize everything. Hey, the wind blew the door shut, or there's a short in the lights that's making them flicker. But the older you get and the more you get into the paranormal, you learn to accept things for what's given to you in your face. You don't do that so much. So that's pretty cool that I agree with Lisa that you got the validation from the guy. You had a picture of him, you saw him, you experienced the breath thing. I haven't experienced that yet, y'all. I've seen apparitions, but it's kind of weird now that I say it out loud. I don't think I've ever been afraid of. I've seen two in my whole time of paranormal stuff, and I wasn't afraid of either. So
One of them was at McIntyre, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. And one was, if anybody's local, was at McKinney Londoner. It's an old bar there on the McKinney Square. And so I saw an apparition outside that nobody had told us about. And when I mentioned it to the owner, he's like, oh, we didn't tell y'all about her.
Oh, no, we lost Sharon.
What happened?
There she is.
There I am. It's
ghostly time.
Oh. Uh-oh, she froze.
Are you there? Well, Lisa, we always have something every week that's unexplainable.
I mean, there she is.
You back?
Are you?
Yeah, oh, wait. Can you hear us, Sharon?
I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You froze for a second.
Yeah, y'all are all freezing. It says my internet connection is unstable. Yeah,
Well,
it starts getting a little cloudy at my house and my internet's going to go out.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, it could be starting to rain or something,
Yeah.
All right. So Sharon, continue on. So what happened after you got your validation of this guy and you're cool with it? Now you know.
Cool with it. We stayed there one more year before we moved down here to the Metroplex. And of course, at this time, my whole family knows about it, the ghost and everything. And of course, their question to me was, do you think he's going to fall?
Oh, no.
We're losing you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's a good part, too.
I know.
You wouldn't have. Oh, no.
Girl, we're losing you. Damn it.
Dang. I know. I was just saying, damn it.
What else?
I want to hear.
What else? Let's see if she gets back unfrozen. Y'all, the house behind Lisa is actually the house Sharon's talking about, by the way.
Yeah, this was our house. Oh, we lost her.
Maybe she'll come back in. See the cross in the yard?
Yeah, I do.
She thought that was kind of strange because she didn't own the house when the picture was taken. So she was wondering why they put a white cross in the yard.
So she drove by and took a picture. Oh, here she goes.
Let's see. She's close. I'm very dark on one side. I don't know why.
Did you maybe move your camera?
Maybe I need to sit here. Is this better? Oh,
I
y'all, while
think
we're waiting on Sharon, there's something new. Oh, do we have a winner?
we do have a winner, and it happens to be the purchaser of our beautiful glasses, Crystal.
No.
Crystal Phillips. Oh no.
So, you guys put down in comments. Lisa and I are considering going to a new platform that we'll be able to do a lot of live streaming.
Yeah.
So if you guys think we should do that, we need some comments. Yes, 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 go to live streaming. That way you guys aren't hearing this after we record, you'll be in the moment. So when we F it up,
You're in the moment.
You guys can, politely point that out. Y'all F that up.
Hey, y'all left that up. Or if you hear us saying something that's inaccurate, you can say that's not right. Or if you hear us
Of course,
saying
we
something,
never do that though, girl.
I know. I was just trying to be,
It sounded good though. It sounded nice.
it did sound nice. Like,
We're perfect in
and
every
even
way.
if you tell us that we're doing it wrong, we're probably still going to do it wrong. So,
because we do things our way on our time.
yeah, yeah, we do. I would, so I want to finish shouting out to Crystal Phillips because she is the winner of our object on the shelf. She did locate the object that was on the shelf. It was a picture that was on the very top shelf up there by that baby doll. She located that. So we are mailing out her gift.
Yeah. And y'all on our new
Oh, wait,
platform.
I'm wrong.
I know I didn't want to say anything, but I think she was
It's
the winner
Claudia.
week before.
Yeah,
It's
she was.
Claudia.
It was Claudia.
Claudia gets the picture.
Claudia
Okay.
Bernardo. I'm so sorry.
Way to go. You made me because I'm like, I don't think that's right.
We're going to have to edit that. So sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, let's just start from there. All right.
Okay, wait. I think Sharon's trying to come back in. Let's try it. Let's see if we get her in. Hello, hello. I heard it beep. There she is. Okay.
Ding dong.
Come in.
Who is it?
We see you're in the room, but we don't see any video or audio, Sharon, if you can hear us.
You hear me?
Oh, wait. I think we hear
Can you
you.
hear
I
us?
think
We can hear Mark.
Marcus.
Mark. Oh, he's frozen.
Gosh, it keeps on free.
Damn it. Can you see us now?
I can see y'all, but it still says my internet connection is unstable.
Well,
It keeps on freezing.
if it does, then we're gonna have to have a part 2 with you. Because we gotta know, girl.
I know you were getting to the juicy stuff.
Yeah.
I've been.
Let me try. Okay.
Oh, she got 8 back.
I was
Mark,
gonna say
welcome to the
Sasquatch.
show, man.
Come sit over here. Come sit over here. It's just the same background. You're fine. Because for some reason it works here. Don't over there.
Really? Because yeah, we see you good.
All right, let's try this.
Look at her cool ass ghost
I
shirt,
know your
too.
shirt is cute.
Did you see my shirt?
That's adorable.
I want it. Let's get one, Lisa.
I know. Where'd you get that?
Cute. It's on Amazon.
Amazon? Oh,
Amazon.
We're gonna need that.
yeah, we are. Those are cute. That's cute.
All right, sorry about
So
that.
That's okay. We just chatted.
Yeah, yeah. We just had it and discovered that I named the wrong winner for the picture in the background.
Yeah.
I can't take her anywhere, man.
No.
She
Ah.
jacks it up. Okay. Sorry. We're in there a year, and I think that's as far as we got.
Yeah, and so we moved down here, and everybody's wondering if he followed us. And guess what? We think he did, because things start happening in our new house. And it's mostly the lights. He loved the lights. So as soon as our lights started going on and off, I knew that he was with us again. And other things started getting really weird, throwing things, pine cones were being thrown, and lots of different things. I'll make it short because I could talk forever about all the things. And I think, Becky, I told you one time right after we met that things always happen in my house. And she said, girl, the first thing you have to do is you have to start writing things down. Every
Yeah.
time something happens, you have to write it down. So I actually started writing things down. And so I have this book, and it's filled with all the things, just from little things to another thing that he liked to do was he would misplace things. Like he would take things
Damn,
and
that's annoying, isn't it?
I know, yes. I mean, and one time I have to tell you this story, and Becky, I think I told you the best one he did was I had ordered something from Amazon, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I opened it and I was looking at it. I said, oh, this is so cool. I can't wait to use it. And I put it in my kitchen island drawer because I knew that's where I was going to want to use it at. So that night after work and Mark came home, I said, I got to show you what I got in and I can't wait to use it. So I went to the drawer, opened it up, and it's not in there. And I'm like, Mark, I just put it in there a couple of hours ago. I don't know where it is. We took everything out of the drawer and it's not in there. He goes, you didn't put it in there, Sharon. And I said, I did. I promise you I did. The next morning, I wake up and I walk into the kitchen, and on the island is this thing that I had bought and put in that drawer. And I looked at Mark and I said, Mark, where did you find this at? And he goes, it was in that drawer. And I said, no, it wasn't. I said, we emptied that drawer. I said, it was not in there. He goes, I know. He said, but I opened that drawer this morning to get out a pot holder, and there it was sitting right on top. Guys, do you know what this thing was?
No.
It was my ghost cookie cutter.
No.
Yeah.
That you make
So
all
I
the
was
great
like,
cookies with?
Yes, you know my ghost cookies I
Yeah,
always
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the ghost cookie cutter. And to me, that was him saying, yeah, I'm for real. I
Yeah.
am your ghost.
I am the
You know?
ghost. Yeah.
For
So
sure.
anyway, I thought that was a good one.
That is a good one.
Okay. So the story goes on. About 2 years ago, I was invited to a sleepover at Hill House in Gainesville, Texas, which I think both of y'all know.
Yes.
And the lady that invited me was Angela Morgan. And she is the lady that does the Baker Hotel Ghost Walk in Mineral Wells.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
She is also a very well-known psychic. Now, guys, I take psychics with a grain of salt.
Right.
Sometimes they're bullshitters
Yeah.
and my meter's going really high. And other times I think they have this special, wonderful gift that I'm just amazed. Well, she's one of those. She is the real deal. So anyway, she invites a bunch of us girls to go have a sleepover Friday and Saturday night at Hill House. So we get there and we're all getting set and we're waiting on 2 more people. And she knows that I had been there several times and she had asked me to go upstairs and show everybody around. That she was going to stay downstairs and watch the monitors. And if you ever been there in the dining room, Linda has all these cameras set up and you can sit there and watch the monitors upstairs from the cameras. So I went up and I was showing everybody around and we came down the stairs and Angela comes up to me and she goes, Sharon, do you have a spirit that follows you around or ghost? I don't know. And I looked at her and I said, why are you asking me that? And she goes, well, the whole time you were up there, there was an orb on your shoulder and it followed you the whole time while you were up there.
Oh,
I said,
wow.
girl, I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, maybe we can talk later. So later that night, it was just me and her. And I started telling her that I had lived in this house with this ghost and he has followed us and he's been with us for a long time now. Or at least I think, it's him and all is good. And she said, well, Sharon, I'm going to let you know right now, you are right. It is him. And I hate to tell you, but he likes you, but not only likes you, he's infatuated with you.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And you need to get rid of him right now. And I just started trembling and shaking. I'm like, Angela, I said, what are you talking about? And she goes, I'm not getting nice words from him.
Ooh.
And I said, okay. And she goes, I just need to tell you, my heart is telling you, you need to get rid of him really fast. And I said, okay. So she's got me all scared. Well, the next day she approached me and she said, you know, the next day we were taking a trip up to Oklahoma. She had a friend that had a metaphysic store.
Yes.
And she's a
Love
practicing
those.
witch. And so we got to go into her shop and experience all this stuff. And anyway, Angela says, I want you to talk to her and she's going to tell you how to get rid of him because you need to get rid of him.
Wow.
I said, okay. So at this point, I am freaking out, y'all. You know,
I would have been too. Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, we're going on 29 years, you know? And then all of a sudden somebody tells me who I really trust that you need to get rid of this person.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went and talked to the practicing witch, and she laid out all the ground rules because I had never saged. I think my first experience was with you, Becky, when you saged just out at the cemetery when I first met you. But other than that, I really hadn't saged a lot. Didn't know really how to do it, or especially how to do your house. So she set the ground rules for me, and I didn't stay the second night at Hill House. I was so overwhelmed by what had just happened.
Yeah.
That I called Mark and I said, because he was out hunting that weekend, Zach was out of town with his sister, and I said, this is a perfect night. Let's go home. Let's get this shit done.
Yeah.
And I said, because I'm a little concerned now. So he said, well, I'll come home in the morning. We'll do it first thing in the morning. I'm like,
Girl,
okay.
deer hunting, you know, nothing
I
can be.
know.
It doesn't matter if you got
Sorry.
a ghost after you.
So he came home the next morning, and we saged our house, y'all. It was something. She I don't know if y'all know this, maybe y'all do. I was naive and I didn't. Whenever she told me, I was like, well, that sounds really stupid. But she said the first thing I had to do was, if I had any welcome signs in my house, I had to get rid of them. So, you know, we all have the mats at our door that say welcome, or the signs and everything. Have y'all heard of that?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't have
Yeah.
any welcome signs.
No, like
See-
people would hang the welcome sign on the door. That's an open invitation.
Right. And see, at the time I was like, oh, that sounds so stupid. But later in my demonology classes, they said that too, you know, the first thing you need to do is get rid of all that.
Yeah.
So sure enough, I did have actually a couple, and I got rid of them. And then it was, you know, not, I laugh about it now. At the time, it was not funny, but I can laugh about it now. But if our neighbors probably thought we had gone crazy, because she told us, you know, you have to open up every door.
Yeah.
Every
it's a
window.
pain when you sage a house.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's
And
a
she said,
pain
you know,
in the ass.
every cabinet door had to be open, every,
Yes.
you know,
Anything with a
everything.
door. Anything with a door.
Yeah.
You know, the dresser drawers, every bit of that has to be open. It's
Right.
if you have a jewelry box, that has to be open, man. It's
Yeah, it was an ordeal. I mean, it literally probably took us a good 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, getting in, she said you have to do every corner, you know, every corner of a room, make sure under the bed, you know, sage has to go everywhere. And, you know, but the most important thing, she was like, you know, you have to demand him to leave, that he was never invited. You never asked him to come into your home. And so, you know, if you can imagine Mark and I, and we each had I think 2 deals of sage in our hands, different kinds. He had the white and I had the other regular. And we're just going around just screaming at the top of our lungs, you know. It was like being on The Exorcist or something.
I
It
bet
was,
your neighbors were going, kids can't play at that house anymore. No, no.
I know,
So-
I know. But you know what the funny thing was, when after it was all said and done and we left and we closed everything up, and then we went to Oklahoma to pick up Zach, and the only thing I could think on the way home was, when we get home, my house is going to smell like we had a pot party.
Oh,
all
yeah. It
weekend."
smells like fun,
And
I
I
think.
had daycare kids coming the next morning, and I was so afraid. But you know, we got home that evening and it didn't smell at all.
Yeah.
It was
Because
fine.
how
but-
do you explain that to the mothers the next day? Do you choose the story, you know, I'm trying to rid a ghost in the house?
Right.
Or we had a pot party? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, leave your kid anyway, though.
That's right. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. But yeah, that's and guess what?
Did it work?
The activity stopped.
Wow.
The activity stopped. So,
And he hasn't returned.
you know, that happened almost 2 years ago in November. It'll be 2 years in November. We have not had any activity like that. Now we will have some things happening, but I think whenever you're in the paranormal, you're gonna get things of just visitors knowing that you're a believer, and so they just stop in to say hi or hey, you know,
Sure.
you're a believer. I like you. I'm here if you want to talk. But no activity like we used to get.
I do agree with you on that. Of being in the paranormal, they know we're believers, so they do. Because I've had stuff happen in my house. She for I don't know how many episodes has had her lights flicker while we're on
every episode,
recording.
I think, until tonight.
Not tonight. Yeah, it hasn't tonight.
Mm-mm. And I never have. I call it my ghost room because I write and do all my crap up here. But it never has ever blinked. But when Lisa and I are on talking about ghost stuff, it goes dim and comes back. And sometimes I'll say, "Did you see that?" And she'll go, "Yeah, I did." Or sometimes she'll say that your lights just flickered. I'm like, "I know, I didn't want to say anything." It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do the advice I gave you many years ago. It's kind of weird because I have a dog sitter, but in my living room, I have a really cool, I don't know, I want to say antique looking book. Have y'all seen the journals that have the real old leather and worn
Yeah.
leather on the front, that sort of thing? So I write down all the crazy shit that goes on in my house. And I'm so used to it. It's like, oh, I guess I'll better write that down. You know, the cabinet door swung open by itself. Let's log that in. But I don't want anybody to freak out when they're here, except for Lisa in her room, and I don't care. But I have a dog sitter, so when she comes over, I got to make sure and hide the journal because I don't want her to read that and be here all by herself going, wait, the cabinet's open by themselves and
Wait, the TV
refrigerator
comes
door?"
on?
Yeah, like,
I've been there when your TV came on by itself.
yeah, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came on in your bedroom. Yeah.
Well, you there too, Sharon? Didn't
I
we
think
all
you
have a
were.
meeting? And my
Oh, that is right. Yes.
I
In
think
your
that's
bed- yeah, the TV.
we
in
were
your
planning an
bedroom.
event. Yeah, the TV in
We
her bedroom came
were.
on. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I do log all the stuff down, and I'm logging it down to give to my daughter. So when I die, but she don't care. Like she's like, you don't need to do that for me. I don't care.
She's
I'm
Lynn's
like,
is going to
"Well,
be like, I don't want to touch this book.
you're getting it, damn it. Don't you you give it to my grandkids someday. They're gonna want to know that grandma was a ghost hunter and this shit went down. So you give it to
That's
them.
right. That's right.
Well,
Who
that's
knows?
pretty cool, Sharon.
Someday somebody's going to get your book and write a book on it and get famous.
So,
should.
so Sharon, is this experience that you've had in both of the houses, is this what led you into taking those demonology classes?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
It really scared me because I was like, and there were some things that now when I look back that I can say, okay, it really was. He had, and it might have been just a good like, but Angela says the words that she was getting from him were not good words.
Mm.
So yeah, I took those demonology classes, definitely not to be a demonologist, definitely not at all. But I needed to know what I was getting into if it ever,
just for education purposes
definitely, yes.
to better protect you and your family. I get that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a scary situation. I mean, all that time you felt safe and you felt like it was just him. But for someone to then tell you that all this time he's actually had ulterior motives,
Right.
that would make me feel so like
Violated.
violated. That's exactly the word,
Uh-huh.
violated.
And the thing is, we never know. I mean, maybe Angela picked up on the wrong thing, and maybe he was just being nice and just liked us and wanted to follow us. And but the thing is, you never know.
Mm-mm.
You never know.
No.
And that's why we always have to.
And you guys, y'all might have been at Jefferson, and I think you guys were. The one time when we were there and we were in one of the rooms, I'm not sure if y'all were with me or not, but I'm going to tell a story anyway. One of the rooms at Jefferson Hotel, and we kept getting this childlike voice coming through the spirit box, and it was very friendly and blah, blah, blah. But then the voice started saying, go to the attic up where the depression room or whatever is up there. And man, I'm telling y'all, this cold ass thing came over me. And I'm like, no way. This is something bad coming in as a child, because we're all like, oh, it's a boy. And look, he's saying this and this. That was such a ploy to get us up there. Who knows? Somebody could have fell down the stairs or been scratched or hurt. But man, then we figured it out. Y'all, the little boy never came through again. Because then we're saying out loud, we're on to you. You're not a child. You're something else. You're an adult. You're something else. You have bad intentions. It was just overwhelming, like the light come on. But there you go. You think they're one thing, because they're gaining your trust, because I love to talk to kids' spirits. That's my thing. I love to talk to the kids. So, I mean, that made me fall right in that trap. But thank God, I think we get that sixth sense thing going on and going, wait a minute, something's not right. Something's not right with this,
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. So do you regularly sage your house now?
Yes, I do. More so, Mark and I are big prayers. We pray all the time. Being Catholics, we pray all the time. And honestly, y'all, we pray the rosary every single night before we go to bed. Yeah. And we have little holy water, and we have crosses, and yeah.
I mean, I think that's great. Like, you guys, and that's something that you guys are doing together to keep each other safe too. So that's really good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
Mark and his Bobby Mackey's experience, and he just became a firm believer in, we need to practice being better. And so,
I 100% believe that home unity is one of the most powerful things you can have against the spirit.
I agree.
Don't be negative with each other and let things start to bother you. And that unity in the home is very, very powerful against things.
Right.
So I think what you guys are doing is working, obviously. Other than, like, Lisa and I call them travelers down at the bridge. They're just people passing by.
Yeah.
We just call them travelers. But
I remember that Bobby Mackey. I remember coming outside and you guys were sitting in your car and y'all were holding hands and you were praying.
Yeah.
I know.
And we can talk about that. I mean, because I feel bad, because everybody always asks us, well, tell us what happened. Tell us what happened. What went on there? And it's kind of like, whenever I took those demonology classes, one of the first things literally embedded in our heads was, if anything bad is going on with whatever, if it's a scenario, if it's something happening in your house, you get this bad feeling, you are not to talk about it. Because the more you talk about it,
Yeah.
you're just giving them the strength and power to overcome you. So that night when we were driving home from Bobby Mackey's, I told Mark, I said, we can't talk about it. And he didn't realize that, you know, by talking about it and telling everybody, we're just feeding whatever that was. And we definitely think it was very evil. What we experienced was definitely evil. So I told him, I said, let's make a pact. We can't ever talk about it. I don't want to give any power. Do y'all agree with that?
100%.
I do. Yeah.
And both you guys know I had a situation a while back that I had to learn that the hard way about how to stay focused instead of focusing on something negative and giving it more power, because I agree. I think it's worse when you do.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's just ever consuming your every thought. And that's what they want. The devil's at work, right? Every single
exactly.
day. I mean, it's daily that the devil will put things in your path to make you disbelieve or question yourself. You know, that's the best thing for him. If you're questioning, then you're not believing in yourself. So
Right.
bad things can happen.
Yeah.
Like I do talk about my experience at Bobby Mackey's because I don't feel like that what happened to me. I think it was Carl. I felt like it was Carl warning me and getting me to leave because there was something bad coming or was already there. So I will talk about that mine because I don't think that what I experienced was evil. I think I experienced being protected from something evil.
Right.
So, but I do agree that you feed it by talking about it. You give it the energy and the power.
Exactly. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, ladies. That was a fantastic, and I was in a trance listening to Sharon on everything.
I know.
I mean, that's pretty damn amazing story of that.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't talk about it much, but because if you really get me started, I could talk for hours on hours, everything, you know,
You're like, let me get my book out.
Yeah.
I know. Let me get my book out. I can read though. Yeah. It was fun. It was a good experience. But you know, that's what made me become a believer.
I get that,
like,
man. I
yes.
think I would have believed with all that.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is thanks to him, because had he not shown himself to you, then we probably would have never met you.
Probably not.
Oh
Our
no,
paths-
she would have
No.
met me. She had to save me at the cemetery. But
But what were you doing at the cemetery? Were you there visiting a loved one?
me?
When you
How-
no, Sharon. Like what? How did she find you at this?
I was there because my friends, when we moved down here, we had a group of friends and they knew that I believed in ghosts and they knew my ghost story. So once a month, we would always plan something kind of different to go out on our dates. And this guy said, well, Sharon, you like ghosts so much. How about I find us a haunted cemetery to go spend the night at? And I'm like, yeah. And so he found one next to a haunted bridge. So we went out on a Saturday night and guess who was out there? Yeah.
Yeah.
The lovely
And we
Becky.
thought they were gonna kill us. Like,
Mhm.
if y'all just knew the whole story of that night, you know, long story short, I locked my keys in the car. Sharon and them are out there in the cemetery. Y'all, this cemetery, when I say no man's land, it was in no man's land. Was it not, Sharon?
Yeah.
I mean,
out
like,
in the
this
middle
was-
of nowhere. I mean, scary, scary,
It
scary.
was scary as hell.
Scary, scary.
And
Yeah,
y'all
that's where I
started
caught my
moving.
shadow figure. I have
Yes.
a beautiful picture of the shadow man out there in
Yeah.
broad
Ooh.
daylight. Yeah. I love that
Oh,
cemetery.
now that's nice. in broad
Yeah.
daylight. That's good.
Yeah.
Lisa, we do need to go to the cemetery. It's
Are-
it's badass.
Are we taking Sharon?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
They
The
pulled
last
up.
time we went out there, they locked the gate. You can't,
You
you know
know
how
what?
you
Same thing with
drive all the
us.
way up to it? Yeah.
Now
So
that
they
you said
kind of,
that, I think
yeah.
Tammy and Ruth and I went to do a cemetery picnic out there, and we drove all the way over there, and it was locked.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Yeah, I remember that. Damn it! Damn those
Yeah.
people that lock up the
I
cemetery.
know. Probably because of people like us.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Y'all, one thing I wanted to point out in the picture. Now, this picture of my house was taken back in May. We go by it all the time because it's on the way to Mark's dad's house. But isn't it ironic how she has that white cross in her front yard?
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
can't help but to think that he still visits there all the time. And
Well, maybe when you kicked him out, he went home.
yeah, I hope so.
I mean, it'd be
Mhm.
nice to think that he just moved on and went wherever he should have went, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what I mean,
I
just
know,
because
but don't say that when I'm taking a drink. I almost choked.
you know, like
Yeah.
we think because he was an officer that he was a good person, but you don't really know,
No, we
you
don't.
know. I mean, you like to think that he was, and he probably was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
I
good-
still think he was. You know, he was with us too long. You know, if he was a bad, I think, you know, we would have felt it, or he would have, you know, we would have
would've-
sensed something. Yeah.
I mean, he obviously he had the power to move things and stuff. So I think if he wanted to hurt you, he would have.
Yeah.
I do
you know.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would
I
have.
kind of think what you said, maybe she picked up on something else there that was negative. But the things you talked about tonight, I agree. I think if he wanted you to be fearful, or if he had an obsession in a romantic way or something, I think you would have felt that, girl. I think you would have, like, he's always really on you or by you, or
Right.
I don't
Right.
know.
And I never got any of that. Nothing
Yeah.
like that. It was always just, hey, I'm making my presence known. Hey,
Yeah.
here I am.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I ever got out of it.
Because he realized that you were acknowledging that his presence, and so y'all became his family. You know, he
Right.
got to watch your babies grow up and
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's kind
Yeah.
of beautiful, actually. You know, to think that
Well,
he had a whole family.
I shoot him away. He's gone.
I mean, hopefully he went home and now he's got a whole new family
Yeah.
with
Well,
whoever's living there.
even living with a good spirit or somebody there that's protect you, because I believe in angels. I'm a big angel believer, and we have angels for all sorts of things. We have an angel to help us financially. We have an angel to help us in relationships. We have an angel to do this and to do that. But even with a spirit that's there for a different reason, but something good, it's still unnerving when shit
is.
goes missing, or the doors open, or just I know just recently, I would say in the past month, I'm getting ready for work, and I know y'all know, all the women out there, you have your shit at the same place and you have it all at the same thing, so every morning you're doing your face or whatever. And one morning I got up and I couldn't find eyeliner or something. I'm like, where in the hell? It was here yesterday, because it's not like you move your makeup, or I don't, to another room. It sits in my bathroom and I know exactly where it is. And I swear to God, I was just so ticked off. I was ticky all day over it, because now I felt like my makeup was off because I couldn't find my eyeliner or whatever. And I come home and it's sitting straight up in the middle of my bathroom. Not over to the side, not in my bag, in the center of, like, ha ha ha, here it is. It was just, and stuff like that. You guys, I know, when you're used to it, I'm like, that shit's not funny.
It's not
Stop.
funny.
Stop.
It's-
That shit's not funny. I was ticky all day because I thought I looked bad. Leave my makeup alone. you know, but it was
Don't
very
touch my
much,
makeup.
yeah, in my face. So here it is. So, all
Well,
right, Lisa, do we have any announcements? Anything we need to bring up before we call it a day?
well, let's see. Friday, October the 13th, we are doing a really cool camp out, cookout, ghost stories on Lake Louisville. Am I right?
Yes.
And you can find the link to buy tickets to that if you're local on our Facebook page. Did you put it on
Go-
Facebook?
Yeah, or go to Eventbrite. It's listed under there.
Yeah, go to the Eventbrite. So there's that. We'll put a link in on here also. And let's see. We got another big ghost hunt weekend coming up.
Yep.
Leaving out next week.
Road trip.
I know. I sure wish you were going with us, Sharon.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, until now, until the end of the year is busy with all kinds of things.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
we feel
crazy.
you. We feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention Mark's truck just went into the shop and the bill is $5,500.
Ouch.
I know.
That-
Oh, jeez.
Ouch.
I told him, I said, honey, we can buy another truck for half of
Yeah.
the.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Mm. Well, and we'll have bridge tours if you guys want to come out and hang out
Yes.
at the bridge. We're doing that. Lisa's getting married next month, so we'll all be
I
in Vegas
am.
for that.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it.
I
October
think
is
that's about
busy.
it.
We got all kinds of
It is
stuff.
busy. Yeah. October is busy. So I think that's it. The ghost,
So,
the camp out, the bridge tours. The bridge tours are going to be the October the 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. One
Yeah.
weekend only this year. I've already had
Yeah.
people emailing me going, "What? No more dates?" And quite honestly, y'all, the bridge is getting so crowded with people. It's really difficult to run a big group of people through on tours. So we're trying to keep it to the best experience we can. So one weekend we're going to do it, twice a night and all that good stuff. But you guys can come
Yeah.
to Lake Dallas because we're starting up a ghost tour in Lake Dallas around there. So guys, look
Oh,
that up
yeah.
if you want to come do that. And
Yeah,
past
that-
that, I'm going to be passing out Halloween candy on the 31st. I am all about the kids coming to the doors in their little costumes saying trick or treat. It's so cool. And the moms and dads are going, be sure and say thank you. It's so where
I
can
don't know what
people-
I live in the country. Nobody comes trick or treating at my house.
Come on, I'm going to go to Lindsay's because she has a really good neighborhood with a million jillion kids. So we sit outside and do all the candy stuff.
Do you dress up?
Yeah, sometimes.
Maybe I had
It's
to look at
pretty
my.
cool. All
I
the
have to look at my calendar, see what I got going on.
Okay, so where can everybody find us and listen and all the good stuff?
Let's see. You can find us on TikTok at Lisa and Beck. No Y, just BECK. You can email us at oursideparanormal@gmail.com. Y'all please send us your fancy glass pictures and what you have on the shelf back there. Something new. And y'all, this one's
Something
hard to
new.
see.
It is.
So you're gonna
Look
have to really
hard, look
look
good.
hard for it. So Our Side Paranormal Facebook page. And is that it? That's
I
it.
think so. Again,
That's
we're
it.
going to try to start doing some live stuff on a new platform. So we're going to play around with that. We'll let y'all know when we do that. In the meantime,
Yeah.
Sharon, oh my God, it was fantastic that you came on the show.
It
We're super
was.
excited.
I thank y'all so much for having me. It was fun.
You're
Like
a
I
great
said, it
storyteller.
No, I'm
You
not.
are.
Yeah,
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I was like you, Beck. I was like,
I
What
know.
else?
A couple of times I
What
caught
else?
myself staring. And I'm like, I need to move so people will know that I'm alive over here. But I'm just like listening to every word she's saying. So
Well, you get me wound up. I could talk forever about ghosts. It's crazy.
well, we'll probably have you on again because
sure.
you go on these ghost hunts with us and stuff, and we like to talk about the things we experience. So we'll
Yeah, we're
probably have
gonna
you on
have
again to
a
do.
show on the Mineral Springs in Alton Trip.
Yeah, we are. Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't
Yeah.
tell y'all, but we caught a really cool EVP. You know, I was telling you, Brittany and I were down at the pool,
Yeah.
and we have the little girl, and then she says, you know, we're asking it to if she wants to play ball, and she says yes, and then she says, "It's me." I mean, it is
Aw,
just clear as
Aw.
day.
that's
But
so
Brittany
cool.
also
Oh, that's
got, you know how
good.
Luke was telling us that the little girl shows up as a mist?
Yes.
In one
Uh-huh.
of her pictures, Brittany catches a mist, or what we think it is. It's a huge mist, way up in the air. And I didn't know this about mist, but whenever I researched mist, do you know all mists that are related to paranormal are 7 feet off the ground? Did y'all
No.
ever hear?
What?
I've
Yeah.
never heard
No.
that.
I know, me neither. Because I was thinking, oh, it's not the little girl, because the little girl, you know, I want her to be down on the ground being
You
little.
want
I
her to
want
be a
the
little
mist to
girl.
be down. Yeah. And I said, well, this can't be the little girl. This mist was way up in the air. So I researched mist, and if you look it up, all mist that has to do with the paranormal are 7 feet off the ground. I never heard of that.
Never heard that. Not one time.
I know, me
I
either.
know, me neither.
It's crazy.
So,
You learn something new every day.
yeah.
You do.
Yeah. Becky and I got a great EVP at McPike Mansion down in the wine cellar. And we caught, Becky had asked if it was true that you had to ask permission to go inside the house.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
caught a female voice, clear as day, said, "It's so."
Yeah,
And
that
it's
was
very,
good. It's like a class A
it's
one.
very good. Yeah,
Wow.
it's so good.
Yeah. So it
And I
was
mean,
definitely,
that's how they would have talked in the 1800s. It's so.
Right.
I
you
mean,
know.
it didn't say yes, it said it's so, or yeah, isn't that what it said? It's so.
Yeah, it's so. It's
But
very
it's
good.
true. It's true that you need to ask permission to come to the house, and
Yeah.
we think. All right, y'all, we got to wrap it up. We are running very, very long
Yeah.
tonight. Sharon, come back anytime. We'll talk. We'll got all kinds of
Yes.
things to talk about.
All right. Sounds good. Thank y'all.
All right. Have
Thank
a good
you.
evening. Bye.
Bye.
And
Bye.
Lisa, I guess next week we'll do it again.
We'll do it again. Same bat time, same bat channel.
I guess so. I'm ready. We'll have another fancy glass. All you clinksters.
All you clinksters, get your glass and get your ass on your email and send us a picture.
Ooh, we need to come up with a phrase. Get your glass, get your ass. What that rhymes? Get your glass, get your ass. I don't know.
Email us fast.
Oh, I like it.
No, I
And
don't know.
email us fast.
Hmm.
Y'all send
Yeah.
it. Lisa gets all the pictures so we can shout you out. Dee, let's give a shout out to Dee. She is like our #1 fan.
She
And
is. Shout out to Dee. We
Yeah.
love Dee. We love your comments. We love seeing you pop up there and asking questions. And because you're asking about us being live, we are trying. We are working on a new platform, and we're gonna go live for you, girl. We're gonna
Yeah.
get on live,
yeah,
and that way we can
practiced
talk.
last night. We got a lot to learn. It's a whole different platform from what we're used to. But
It
we think
is.
you're gonna like it. We're gonna be able to pop stuff in real time. So that's gonna save editing.
Yeah.
And we want to know our last episode. We did another part 2 of getting to know us, and we did some personal and paranormal questions and stuff. And we put some bloopers on the end. If you
We
like the
did.
bloopers, let us know so that we can add those. If you didn't really give a shit, don't care, then say that too. Say, yeah, we could do without the bloopers at the end. So anyway, we played around with that.
And
last
if
night.
you didn't watch, and if you did not watch that episode all the way to the end to see the bloopers, we'll take your ass back on there and finish it.
That's right.
Those bloopers are funny. I literally, the bloopers were of us, and I was cracking up.
Yeah.
It was
when
funny.
We're
They're
putting
good.
bloopers in, Lisa and I are texting back and forth, and we're sending our little clips. And I'll say, "Girl, I laughed my ass off. Do you know how funny we were?" Because we.
And I'm like, we're hilarious. Like,
yeah. If we
I think
can't
we are
laugh at
funny.
our own self, then we're in the wrong business, man. We're we're way too happy. We don't go to the negative
Yeah.
side, but let's
No.
shout out to everybody that just went out on our big Alton trip with us. That was really
Yes.
fun. We had some great folks go with us, and we had a really good tour guide, Luke. Man, shout out to you. You guys
Yes.
go look at his Facebook. He has a lot of antiques toys and stuff. He owns this toy store. I can't say his last name because I effed that up really bad, but it's really long. We can put it down here so you guys go check
Yeah, we'll put it.
his page out and order some cool toys. And Lisa and I,
Yeah, he was great.
He was. And Lisa and I stayed
Yeah.
in the most coolest old place. And we won't go out into it because we're going to do a show on it. But it was badass. That's all we can say.
That was a badass Airbnb. It was so good, y'all, that we've already booked it for next year.
Like, we're not over it. We're just not, we didn't get
Yeah,
enough
we're not
time
over it.
there. You know, Lisa
We
was getting
didn't.
major
It was
was it flashlight act? No, the actual lights.
no,
going
it was
on
the
and off.
lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it was it and y'all, I didn't even catch it on video because my phone was across the room and it started happening. I thought Becky was flipping the light switch off and on, and I was like, what the hell's she doing?
I wasn't even
And
in
I
the
turned,
room.
she wasn't even in the room. I turn and it's the lamp just going off and on, off and on. So I get up casually and I go and I get my phone and I pull my camera up. And as I'm pulling my camera up to start recording, Becky comes walking into the room. And as soon as she walks into the room, it stopped.
Yeah.
Completely quit. She saw like 2 little flashes, and that was it.
And y'all, we
Weird.
stayed up. I'm going to say more than 24 hours. We saw the actual sun come up, not peak up. I'm talking, we stayed up
Full
till
rise.
6 or 7 in the morning before we went to bed. I caught some good cat ball action that Lisa wasn't in the room. I just set it on one of our little dining tables and it was going off. So,
Yeah.
we're going to have a do-over on that. So,
Yes, we are. We sure are. That
all
was
right,
a good trip.
everybody. Thank y'all. We know it's long. We're probably going to post most of this instead of trying to edit it down because Sharon was so good and
She
she
was
had great
so
stories,
good.
man.
She did. I loved it.
It
I
was
loved
good.
it.
It was good.
I'm glad I finally got to hear her story because I've known about it, but I've never heard her story. And
I
I was
haven't
so
heard
happy.
all those
to hear it.
details for sure.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So y'all, thanks for watching. Thanks for interacting with us. And again, yeah, clink, clink, guys. Again, shout out to Crystal for our beautiful
Yes.
glasses. Crystal, aka Haunted Heifer.
Girl, we love them. Thank you.
We love them. Love, love, love them. So yeah, shout out to them. And again, to Claudia Bernardo for being our winner of finding the hidden object back there on the shelf. Sorry, I fouled that up earlier today.
Okay, you guys,
Right.
again, please comment, like, share our page. We finally officially have broke 200 followers on
Yes,
our YouTube.
we have. And
Girl, we going to the top.
we're going to the top. It's a slow ride, but we're going.
We're going.
And y'all don't forget that when we agreed on our Bigfoot episode, we agreed that once we hit 500 followers, we will do our Double Dog Dare challenge, and we will go stay in a tent in the woods, just the 2 of us.
I know, damn it. We agreed to do that.
I don't know if I did agree, but you did for us.
Well,
So,
if I go, you go. That's just the way it is.
I know. We're a team.
Oh, shit. Well, if we hit 500, oh my God. What are we going to do? We got to
So,
go do it.
We got to go do it. So if y'all want to see us do that,
Yeah.
get us
We're
to
not
500.
brave with Bigfoot. This is not our area of expertise.
No. We will go into a dusty, haunted location in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about nature, y'all. Talking about
a
something
hairy,
real,
big
like
ass foot that
big,
can drag
and
us through the woods and kill us. I don't know.
we don't know what he eats.
Yeah. I
We
heard
don't know what he
prefers
eats.
brunettes.
Shit.
Us blondes, we're bitter, man. We're bitter.
You-
Oh,
Maybe if I dyed it a nice reddish color, he would think I was one of
yeah.
them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm way too small. I don't believe my size 6 shoe is going to fit the bill. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
Oh,
guys. Well, thanks for listening. And as always, y'all stay spooky.
stay spooky. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.